Let's discuss property home inspections from the seller perspective. So it's a little bit different take on what happens with a property inspection. Stick with me, I'll keep it short and sweet, but there's a lot of good information here. Hey, I'm Christy Henshaw. I'm a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I love living in Texas. I love talking about real estate and design. If you would, I would love it if you would like or comment or subscribe. It'll help push this content out to others. You can also check out my channel. I've got lots of information for agents and sellers and buyers. So on the seller side, I would say one of the first things that you should know when your property is getting inspected, you're under contract, big thing is just vacate your property. Just leave your property for the home inspection time. It usually takes about a good portion of the day, about 3 or 4 hours. And I know that this can be hard, especially when you may work from home or you're a stay-at-home mom, but especially if you're working from home. It's pretty important though, because on the buy side, they really need to have the freedom to be able to let the inspector do what he needs to do without a seller coming in to talk to them or show them the property or anything like that. And the buyer is paying for this inspection. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It will just help everything go a lot more smoothly if you cooperate and especially if you can leave the property. But if you absolutely cannot leave the property during the inspection, like you work from home, just stay in one room and do not come out and try to have conversations with the inspector. Just pretend like you are not there, and I think that'll help out greatly. Some big important factors to consider when you get, as the seller, the buyer is going to get this huge report. I mean, it's going to be a stack of papers. They're usually really big, they're kind of overwhelming, and they've got to sift through all this information and figure out if they want to ask for repairs on the property in their offer or not as you are negotiating. In Texas, we call it the option period time. I know in other states it's called the inspection period. Often on the buy side, the buyer side, they should be looking at big ticket items. Things like foundation or roof or like termites, that sort of thing. Safety, stability, and security. Those are the main things that you as a seller, when the buyer brings over their list of requests for repairs that you're going to start negotiating on, these are the main things that you need to think on. Things that affect the safety of your property, the safety of your home, I cannot talk today, the stability of your home, and the security of the property, the security of the home. Like even little things like the stairwell is loose. You know, that's not a big ticket item. It's a pretty easy fix, but it affects safety. So it's something that would be important on a list. So you're in the option period or inspection period of your time under contract. So you've recently signed, the buyer's going to get with it. They're going to jump on it, getting that inspection done if that's what they're wanting to do. So you can expect a call that within, I would say 3, 5, maybe 7 days, the inspection is going to happen. That's after the contract is signed. So they usually happen pretty quickly on the front end of the option period or the inspection period so that you have time to negotiate and talk out things before that option period ends. Keep in mind that buyers may get other sorts of inspections. So there's mainly just this general inspection that the inspector kind of covers everything. But buyers can also do extras if they want. If they want to have a real roof contractor come out and look at the roof and inspect it, they can ask for inspections on wood pest, like termites or carpenter ants, that sort of thing. They can have an engineer come out and look at your foundation. They can have someone come and check the sewer lines. They can also have a pool inspection. So there are all kinds of inspections. Anything that the buyer is wanting to inspect in this time and they've paid for that option to opt out, you need to accommodate them as much as possible. And the buyer's going to have, like I said, this large stack of papers. Just keep in mind, they're not going to go over everything with you. And if they want to give that report to you, say, no, I do not want to see the whole report. Have your listing agent say, no thanks. Because if by any chance at least this is how it ends this is how it is in Texas. If by any chance this contract falls through and you have to go back on the market, then you are required to disclose that inspection report, which, I've had to do that in the past, and I've had an agent just send it to me. They sent me the whole thing. So at that point, I've had access to the whole thing. I did need to disclose to future potential buyers that we have this inspection. And then when it went under contract later, those buyers actually just used that inspection report. They didn't even get another one. So there are pluses to it as well. You've gone under contract, you're in this option period, you've received your repair request from the buyers. Negotiations are going to usually happen pretty quickly. And so they've gotten their report. They're going to try to, so say they got their inspections done on day 3. They're going to get that report back to you probably on day 4 or day 5. And then you're wanting to get your negotiations back to them very quickly, so that if there is almost like a tennis match, the ball bouncing back and forth between the two of you for a little while, there's time to do that before the option or inspection period ends. And in this time, when you're negotiating repairs, as you're remembering, okay, I'm going to try to focus on safety and security, stability, you're going to try your best to keep emotions out of it, because oftentimes what I see buyers request are things outside of that. I don't know if their agents just don't know, or they're just like, they've got it stuck in their head that these are these things that they're going to want. A lot of times buyers will ask for really silly, small things that really don't matter. They don't affect safety or stability or security, but they really, really want it done. So I say to my seller clients that if it's something that you can easily fix or it doesn't cost a lot, just go ahead and give the buyers a win. It's pretty easy. It's definitely nothing to, get your feathers ruffled about to kind of make negotiations go south. So keep emotions in check. Put on your thinker hat. Take off the feeler hat. And it's very helpful just staying calm, because this is where a lot of times in this negotiation process, that's a lot of times where the transaction may get canceled. So this is where things can fall through, because buyers are excited and they might be, just trying to get their money's worth out of, every little thing that they ask. Just keep your thinker hat on, and that will help this part of the negotiation process go more smoothly. Just try not to get offended. And just keep in mind that the buyer pays for and that they choose their own inspector. And so if you can accommodate them with it all, it just helps everything go smoothly. And again, I just want to reiterate that repair negotiations are often the place where a contract may fall through. And so buyers really need to stay with things that are affecting safety and security and stability, and try to stay away from the little bitty silly things that don't matter so much. And sellers, you need to just keep in mind that, hey, I'm going to do these easy things that don't cost a lot of money just to keep the buyer happy. So just keep in mind that common problems that arise from an inspection report often have to do with the foundation, with pest, with plumbing, and electrical. Usually electrical is on there, almost always. There's something electrical that happens. So upon completion of receiving this report and trying to negotiate a little bit, you can make a choice as a seller. You can accept everything as is. You can try to negotiate some more. You can fix everything yourself, or if, just per what they request, usually plumbing work has to be done by a professional. Anything like that, anything that has to be done by a professional, you're going to that's going to happen. But another thing that you can do is you can offer to the buyer that in lieu of doing these repairs and fixing everything and paying for it all, you can just give them a credit at closing. And then that way they can take care of getting the repairs done. Now, when I rep buyers, that's a big deal. If a seller says, hey, we'll give you a certain amount of money and it's absolutely worth it, like it's a good amount that they've offered and it's fair, on the buy side, I personally would rather be able to hire my own people to get things fixed rather than relying on someone, the seller, that I don't know to fix it. So again, let me get back to it. Upon completion, you can accept everything as is. You can negotiate you being the one to make the repairs as a seller, or you can offer a credit to the buyer. In lieu of the repairs, you offer a credit at closing. Or if things just go south, you can cancel. But this is the most important time in the contract transaction. The negotiation time is the most important time. So if you keep it in your head, don't let your emotions get the best of you, you can usually get past this point and move forward to closing pretty quickly. So good luck to you in that. Again, please subscribe or like or comment. I'd appreciate that so much. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.